So welcome to Neshama Soul Therapy, and this particular podcast is about couples that just land together and now they have issues in their relationship. So I actually have a client that is experiencing this, and one of the things I want to say to those clients that have issues in a relationship when they just dated and they didn't have conversations that needed to be had is think about what is propelling you into this relationship, and do you want to date to see what happens, or are you dating for the purpose of it being a long-term relationship? I had a client literally basically tell me that I fell into this relationship, it just kind of evolved. We were in the military and that was a specific type of mentality, and now that person transitioned out of the military and into the workforce and academic force, and she was kind of the breadwinner, and that was never a conversation what it would be like, who has responsibilities, how long it's going to happen, and what are they going to delegate. And then it happened to be that when she transitioned out of the military, she didn't get the same behavior, the same response from him. He actually was quite hostile with her, blaming her for not having a job when she was trying to go back to school after the military and really work on herself. So there's a little bit of roles that were not identified in the beginning of the relationship, and when I asked them how they started to date, they told me, well, we met randomly somewhere and it just kind of happened. And then I asked them, so when did it become official? And they basically said they didn't have an official date. One day she just started calling him the boyfriend, and he kind of just let that happen. I want to tell this to couples that are experiencing something similar. You don't just let things just happen. You have to have conversations and an understanding of what is required. What are the roles? Who's going to do what? What are you trying to gain from the situation? Are you looking to date just to have fun? Or are you looking to date for something serious? If you don't even have a time where you call each other boyfriend and girlfriend, then what do you expect from the relationship? It happens to be now that this particular couple is pregnant, they're not really engaged. They want to be serious, but they have no idea of how to get there. He already has a family with from a previous marriage that didn't work out, and she wants to get married and have a family. But there's so many different issues here. One of them being a triangulation of a lot of family members that are, involved in the relationship. The other part is no boundaries, no clear communication. They both kind of talk about problems but don't really arrive at healthy solutions that benefit both of them. And the problems that are solved are very superficial. They don't really have depth, and there's no consistency to them. So I'm asking my couples to really think about what is the driving force in your relationship. You have to have conversation when you meet someone. Are you looking for a one-night stand, or are you looking for something serious? The reason I say this is that the typical people that date, they usually end up saying, hey, I want something serious, or I don't want something serious. If there's no intention to date for marriage, then why are you dating? Are you dating just because you want a life partner, a companion, or are you dating because you want something more serious? This is so important, because what ends up happening is that people don't have an idea of what they need or what they want from the relationship, and they just kind of let it evolve half-assed. Forgive me for saying this, but it just evolves, and there's no accountability in the relationship. There's no anniversary dates, there's no memorization. Roles get skewed, and people get upset when expectations or needs are not met. But how can you get upset over expectations not being met when you didn't have those guidelines in the beginning of your relationship? And guidelines being like set understanding that this is what we're gonna experience in this relationship. If it's a serious relationship, when we date a few months, we check in to see if it's progressing in the right direction. If it's not, we come to terms that maybe there's things we need to work on. We work through them, and after another few months, we see if it moves forward. If it doesn't move forward, we go our separate ways. You have a clear understanding, there's clear boundaries and expectations. When you just kind of date and then it just naturally evolves, yeah, that's cute and romantic, but now there's so many different other things that are in this relationship that can become an obstacle to their happiness that they have to now work harder to overcome. Not saying that they can't, but you're just setting yourself up for failure if you're not taking accountability into perspective. And if you're putting things under the rug and not dealing with them, that becomes a complication. And so a lot of the clients that I sometimes talk to, they didn't have an idea of, well, we're going to be in a relationship. They just kind of went into it, and then fast forward a year when they're pregnant and they're not married and they're playing house, there's expectations that were not met that people are getting upset over. So this particular video is not really me venting, but me kind of pointing out, when you are doing things, do it mindfully, do it for a higher purpose. Don't do it just because you are, wishful thinking and it's gonna work out. If you're at a point in your life when you're working on your career, do that. Focus on your career. Do that, get it out of the way, and give yourself time to breathe afterwards, where you find yourself, where you enjoy hobbies, have friends, have a life, and then move forward into a relationship. But if you're just gonna do everything all at once, and then you have resentment because your partner is not living up to their expectations, well, what were the expectations when you started the relationship? What was the priority? Did these conversations take place, or did you sweep everything under the rug? So I'm kind of doing this podcast to kind of shed awareness on how, when you are not mindful when you're dating, these things really do affect the course and the outcome of the relationship. Now, when you are working through these things, have conflict resolution conversations. Use I feeling messages, like, I'm feeling that this needs to be addressed. It's been bothering me. I don't feel secure or safe with this dynamic. What are your thoughts on resolving this? What are some solutions we can come up with? Use the conflict resolution skills to really work through things. If you want to be more intimate, talk about it. What are your needs? Do you want soft intimacy, aggressive intimacy? Are there boundaries? Are there safe words? Have these discussions. And if you feel like you are not getting your needs met, then you have to make a difficult decision and move forward in your life from a place of healing and not from a place of reacting. You have to respond to things with a sense of decorum and intentionality. When we don't have intentionality, we lack integrity, and then we don't get our needs met and get upset when our expectations are not met. You can't get upset if you don't set up the expectations from the very beginning. If this is not going to lead to marriage, I don't want to be in it. If this is not going to be, I want a life partner, we're going to date, great. And for those couples that are in open relationships, rules and guidelines need to be there to protect both the main people in the relationship and the outliers. If you don't know about the outliers, reach out to me. We can have that discussion, or I'll make a separate video about that as well. I'm not here to judge people. You can live your life how you want to live it. But if you're in a relationship that is the typical heterosexual relationship where a man and a woman lead to marriage, then understand there's certain things that need to be expressed for your needs to be met, for both parties to be happy. And if you're not having those conversations, you are not allowing yourself to be in healthy relationships that move forward in a way that is helpful to the relationship. That's the only way I can really say it. That you're not setting yourself up for failure would be another way of saying it. Because there are times where you are dating and you're young and you're just out of college, or you're in high school and you're high school sweethearts and you're dating and it evolves. But there are expectations that you talk about through that period of dating, that we like each other, we want to be with each other, we're going to make it work. Great. But if you're just kind of like, oh, well, he's my man now, or she's my woman now. Woman? Man? What are you talking about? And you don't have those conversations, don't be upset if it doesn't work out. This is Esther, Witness Gem Soul Therapy, giving you some practical advice. But also kind of giving you ideas to think about really when you are navigating dating, especially if you're in your 30s and 40s and you're professionals, or just in a different situation in life where you're transitioning out of a marriage and you're going back into the dating field, and what does this look like now? And what are the expectations? Don't be upset if when you don't talk about these things, your needs are not met. Have a great day.